guys, another topic is same t-shirt, another topic, same cap, another topic. And now this topic is about sorcerers and not sorcerers. And that's the whole issue in Jujutsu Kaisen, because as we know, as you, the fans of Jujutsu Kaisen, or just viewers, watchers, know, the whole concept of like sorcerers and non-sorcerers is very crucial, because a lot of things were discussed about it, where, for example, Geto himself went on the bad side. He became a villain due to the fact that he wanted to kill all the non-sorcerers, or he was calling non-sorcerers monkeys, and he didn't actually like them. He was like hating them, racist, low-key racist vibes and shit. But what is sorcerers and not sorcerers? And then you have a calling game and blah 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 for them to become sorcerers and shit like that. But what does it mean in metaphysical or as an allegorical, metaphorical way? What does it actually mean to be a sorcerer or to be a non-sorcerer? Sorcerer. So basically, a sorcerer. So as we know, curses are cursed spirits. Curses are made up due to cursed energy, and non-sorcerers people are emitting this cursed energy unconsciously, unknowingly that they do that, but they do that, and they just spill it all around, that cursed energy, because they are still able to initiate it, but they're the ones who are not able to control it. And sorcerers are the ones who are able to control it, and they use it for their advantage and not just spilling it all around and just creating curses all around, but they actually use it to maintain it within themselves and to use it as a power, low-key, right? So yeah, and low-key cursed energy, how I see it is damn little doggo. So how I see it is like a, I don't know, like a power, like an energy, even like emotion or a feeling, even the thought is like within that's your local energy, the stuff that you even put your attention to, that type of energy that tension, of yours, that you have within of you, all these like emotions and shit like that. And it's like, let's say, if you're not a sorcerer who understands that you have this shit within you, and just spill it all around. So for example, let's say if you would be a sorcerer, you would be emotionally intelligent. You would be aware of your emotions, where they come from. You would be aware that if you are angry, for example, and it's not the other person's fault that you are angry, and therefore you are not even allowed to some degree to spill this angerness on him, because it's not his fault that you're angry, and later you are able to use this angerness or sadness, depression, happiness to your advantage, and make some out of it, actually use it as a skill. So for example, you could turn it into a music, you could turn it into a craft, you could turn it into an art, because you already have some type of emotion which as a power, which is a cursed energy, gives you opportunity to create some type of spell, some type of jutsu, some type of magic trick or something like that, So for example, if you would be in a depressive mode, in depressive feelings, you could make a very depressive song, and it would be a very good song, a very good depressive song, due to the fact that you're in those emotions yourself, and you're doing something with those emotions. You are not just like spilling them all around and shit like that, but you're actually using it to your advantage and shit like that. And then or for example, angerness, you could make a metal song, you just screaming your angerness out, or you just going to the gym and you're fighting that angerness out, or you so therefore you're putting this energy into something, you are understanding that this energy, you have it within you, and you're not drowning because of it, you're not being lost in it, but you're actually taking the upper hand over it and using it to your advantage, shit like that, right? And then, for example, the people who are not sorcerers, they don't understand that. For them, they just get bunch of different feelings, bunch of different thoughts. They just intake all of them, eat it up, just like, unconsciously, as I mentioned before, with their attention, which you have to pay, which costs money and shit like that. And they just like spill it all around. They just take all the shit, they then get some type of emotions, they spill those emotions just like that on different people, and that's how curses get emitted. So for example, if you're a person who doesn't understand that it's not somebody else's fault that you are angry or sad, you will take this angerness and you will spill it on the other guy. You will spill this angerness on the other guy, and then this guy who is some random guy, let's say for example, he was just walking on the streets, and due to the fact that you're driving in a car and you're not letting, and he's passing the road, that street walker, I don't know how you call them, is passing the road kind of too slow. You're getting like super angry, you're trying to beep and shit like that, and you're saying, what the fuck, why you're walking so slow, you motherfucker, and shit like that, that's not nice. And that guy did nothing to you, and he was just going along with his day, and he's also a non-sorcerer, right? Then he also gets all these bad emotions from the non-sorcerer who was in the car. Then he intakes the bywalker intakes all these emotions. Now he is to some sort of angry. He's like, why the fuck? It's not even why the fuck. I was just walking on the street. Why this person is so goddamn angry? Now this is person angry. Then this person who was just walking by goes into a shop. Now it takes, for example, now he's on this like aggressive timing. Now he's on this like different type of timing that he walks on. He was walking on some chilly, vibey, meditative, positive thoughts. Vibes and shit like that, but now he's walking on some anger type of vibes. Now, for example, he will do some steps which are rushy. Now he will trip maybe. Now he will go into a shop, but may get into a shop because he's like already on that timeline, right? You have different timelines, and due to this like aggressive shit, now he's walking on this aggressive vibration timeline. So now he'll may get into the shop where a lot of people, wow, what the fuck, somebody, damn, this shit was on me, nasty. I think maybe you saw him even, I'll see him later. Yeah, but then he's walking on this like aggressive timeline. So now, for example, he'll get into the shop where when it's full of customers, like he'll be like, what the fuck, or he will get into the shop where the guy who will be there will mess up his like the barman or something like that, or the barista will mess up his drink, and this will be the only time that this barista messed up his drink, shit like that, because the barista also went on this like timeline, and they both met because they were on the same timeline, low-key. But yeah, now this guy full of now this guy who went into the shop is aggressive, blah blah, and this like that. Now he will scream on some other guy due to some little thingy, because he has it in him, right? He has it in him, and it's not nice for him to hold that shit inside of him, and he has to somehow he has to get out of it or express it out for it not to be inside of him, but he is not aware how to do that because he's also not a sorcerer. He's not aware how to do that. Now he may decide to scream on somebody for him to get that shit out. Even he will do it unconsciously due to the fact that he doesn't understand what's happening, shit like that, Now he'll scream on somebody because he has all this like anger itching him inside and shit like that. Now this other guy who he will scream on will so this curse continues on and on, and you just like imagine so that's how basically you create a cursed spirit, aka making some energy flow and shit like that, and every person adds to it or experiences it, and that's how it gets further and further and further, you know. So for example, this, let's say, the first guy who, because we all can create energy, right? We can destroy energy, we can transmute energy, and we can create energy. If the physics say we cannot create energy, that's gay, because we can create energy. We creating energies every day long, type shit like that. So yeah, and then you have, let's say, this first guy who I mentioned, who was in the car. He's the one who initiates this type of energy, right? He creates this energy, and he created it, right? He created that little spirit. This little spirit then gets into some other guy. So this guy, maybe even this guy got this this feeling. Not maybe he didn't even created it. Maybe he's the one who got it, you know, by just walking on the street and shit like that. Maybe he woke up hella late, and he was about to come late on work and shit like that, and he was hella worried about that. Therefore he already started to experience that, let's say, cursed thingy already, you know, that demon, that cursed spirit and shit like that. He started to experience it already. Then after he expressed it, maybe he will still have it inside of him, but he also added some other member into this group, you know, into this cult and shit like that. Now this other person is now the spirit is experiencing life through other person, you know. Now he gets more and more experiences. He's getting more and more like knowledgeable because he experiences new things and shit like that. And he like gets into some other bodies, like the guy in the shop, the barista. Now he's in that body. Now he has different experiences too. And now this like cursed spirit in general gets more and more and more and more knowledgeable, you know. And nobody stops him because people are not non-sorcerers are not aware of that he even exists, that spirit even exists, type shit like that, you know. Only the sorcerer, if he'll be willing to, he will stop that curse from like going on and shit like that, you know, by like, I know, transmuting it, by taking advantage of it, by putting it under his control, by making a song out of it and shit like that, you know. But those people will maybe still will be able, the other non-sorcerers, people who experience that spirit, may be still having like a little piece of that spirit within them, and they will just depending on when it's gonna stop, they will just give a little bit and a little bit more and more and more life into it, you know, shit like that. So for example, this like car driver who was like hella angry, like the barista, let's say, the barista who got angry, and then he expressed this angerness onto a coffee cup, which turned out to be a trashy ass coffee cup and shit like that. He, depending on how, if all this angerness went out, then maybe he will not have it anymore. But still, maybe even though he expressed all this angerness, he still have this as a tattoo on him, right? As a memory, as a situation. And maybe every time, maybe not every time, but sometimes when he will look onto this movement that he did back then, it may remind him of that spirit that he experienced. So for example, let's say at that point he was doing a coffee, right? When he was hella angry, that's why he made the trashy coffee. Now he, let's say 3 days later, he will also do a coffee. And these movements that he did, the same movement, maybe he'll do the same coffee, you know, the same express latte or shit like that, on cocoa milk and shit like that, or almond milk, oat milk, doesn't matter. He'll do the same movements, and those same movements maybe will bring him back on that to that day, on that curse, to the day where that curse was in him. and now he will get all this like reminders. He was angry, blah blah blah, and that he will get reminders why I was angry. Oh, yeah, I was angry because somebody came into the shop and screamed on me. And now he will get more like, you know, now this like he will get back to the point of him giving birth to that what was already dead, you know. So that spirit within him was already dead, but now he gives him more. Now he thinks about him more. Now he's getting angry himself again. So now this cursed spirit is being reborn, or just being more initiated, you know, low-key. So now that's how it's separated. That's how it gave more different births and shit like that. Now it experiences more and more. Now it's getting more and like more knowledgeable, bigger and bigger. And with time, with this like evolution, it will get more mature, more physical, and more brighter, if you can put in those ways, you know. For example, as a person has like legs, arms, eyes, mind, brain, walks on his 2 feet, but for example an alligator walks on his belly and shit like that, because the person as a evolution thingy is more knowledgeable and more wider and more further than the alligator. And with this cursed spirit, it can go the same route depending on how much it's gonna experience and shit like that, you know. So that's the shit. I think that's basically it, low-key, about curses and sorcerers and non-sorcerers. So you have sorcerers, people who are aware of all these thingies, and they're aware of their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts, and what they are dealing with, and they're able to put it further into different routes, into different matters, into different patterns, into different skills, and like count them and make weapons, tools out of them, you know, or just make some nice little shit out of them. And you have non-sorcerers, who are the ones who are not aware of the shit, and they just experience and they just give life to different cursed spirits. And those cursed spirits, the longer they live, it's even in the anime, I guess, the longer they live, or the more they are feared, the more they are experienced, the stronger they are. That's why you have Sukuna, the most feared one. Then you have Jogo, Jogo and shit like that. And yeah, because they're also hella feared. And it's like hella feared, you can also put in the way that they're more experienced than the other ones, you know, the ones that you can easily kill, and they are not first as class or shit like that, you know. So yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically it about sorcerers and non-sorcerers. So I would say be a sorcerer in your life, not a non-sorcerer, because you may create something or give life to something or experience and hold in you something which is not benefiting nobody and just destroys and shit like that. So yeah, so be a sorcerer. Be a sorcerer and be aware of non-sorcerers, and understand that they are non-sorcerers, and you don't have to go on their level down there, you know, because they are not sorcerers and you are a sorcerer. So yeah, have fun.